Hi, and welcome back to Hope Follows. I'm Julie Kenzler, the host of this show, and I'm your friend, author, speaker, along on the journey of life with you. Here at Hope Follows, we share stories about people who have been through difficult times, but we don't stop there. We talk about the hope that came out of it, the beauty, the joy, the good. And that's what we do here. So follow us along and like us, like the episodes, follow us on YouTube with Hope Follows with Julie Kenzler. New episodes come out the second and fourth Mondays of every month. So let's get started, friends. Today we're going to talk about moms. As a mom, I've had it on my heart for a while to share this amazing acronym for mom. And so stay tuned. You'll hear what that is later because it took me a bit to get to that conclusion. Okay, so today I just want to talk to you about the relationships that we have in our lives. Relationships are everything to us. Imagine if I have my family, I have my friends, I have my work life, I have my church community, I have hobbies, hiking friends. Think of the people in your life, neighbors, think of all of them. And just try to imagine if it was you fulfilling each of those roles, and each person was you. So you're talking to yourself at work, you're talking to yourself at the gym. It would be chaotic, friends. Trust me, because my husband already tells me I talk to myself too much at home. He says I like to narrate my life. I suppose he's right. But isn't it so beautiful that we have such a variety of people in our circle? And that's the important thing that we need to remember, how God designed us to be in community, to be in relationship. And of course, one of the most important relationships outside of my relationship with my Savior and my husband is my children and being a mom. And I am so honored, so blessed to have been a mom to raise four amazing children who are the most incredible adults. They're my friends, and I am so proud of them and excited for who they're becoming and continue to develop to be. And I often reflect, and I don't know if you're a mom and maybe you have reflected on this in your past on, did I do everything right? Hmm. I remember when I wished I would have, I wished I would have not. I wished I could have. Oh, why did I do that? Why didn't I do this? And friends, we can sit there on all those negative moments and thoughts. And what will that do for us? It shows a displeasure to God's gifts to us in the time we had with our children. And it shows a lack of trust that we can turn what was negative into positive, and that forgiveness can be the most beautiful gift we can give to a human, and receiving forgiveness. What a title, mom. As I said, I can be very hard on myself, and especially even thinking of how I handled things with my own mother and the strife we had along the way in life. But even in her later years, and I've talked about this on another episode, on my episode where I actually interviewed and had her caregiver on our show. But prior to that home, there were several homes that were not good for her. And I can just relive it and all the negative experience that she had to face. And I wished I would have done this. I wished I would have done that. All of those questions that come up and and just create such that feeling in your stomach and your gut where you just and the gnawing feeling of regret, of remorse, and it's not a good place to be. And I'm so grateful for friends and family who remind me, okay, Julie, what were the things that you did for your mom to honor her? I heard today at church in a message, it was on Sunday, I heard a message that um, you may not always agree with your mom. You might have conflict, but the Bible doesn't say to only honor your parents when you agree. Only honor your parents when they're giving you things. It says to honor your parents. And so honor means to show respect and um, to give them what is rightfully theirs, which is love and forgiveness. Because we know if we're thinking about all the things we did wrong as parents, we can just imagine what they think too and what they have thought. But I cherish the times on Wednesdays. My mom called it Wendy's Wednesday. I would take her her favorite meal. It was the chicken sandwich, plain chicken sandwich, so no lettuce, no mayo, with her frosty. Her vanilla frosty was her favorite. Sundays were her church days. She wore this beautiful sweater that was so cute and said love on it. And she always wanted to wear that on Sundays. And I feel bad when I look back and think, why did I ask her not to wear that in the middle of the summer? It's what she wanted. And that's a way to honor our parents. If they want something, we need to just let them be. It's their life. Give them the dignity of making those choices. And so we would go to church. Then she'd come over to our house. I'd make her favorite chicken here. And then she would watch her other church message from her Moody Bible Church in Chicago. And those are special memories to me. And those are what I'm trying to hold on to. Now, as a mom, I can think back. Why did I raise my voice at my kids? Why did I not believe the best at times? Why? All those things that I know if you're a parent, you're thinking the same thing. Why did I make these mistakes? I know God forgives me, but how can I ever fix it? How can I make it right? And I always, at some point, wanted to give my kids the opportunity to see, okay, I admit I made a mistake and I want this to be right. So let's work it out. And I appreciate how my kids will come, they're adults, ages 22 to 30, and even my daughter-in-laws, and how they'll come to me. And when they have something on their heart, maybe I offended them or something I said, they're not sure they understood, they'll talk to me about it. And I appreciate that because that's how we mend relationships. That's how we grow and develop and get stronger and closer, by being open and honest about everything, the positives and the negatives. And that's where there's tension. But then when tension is attacked or it's addressed, I feel like it loosens it up a little bit. So with my children, I think about all the great memories, playing hide and seek around the house, or taking them to summer at the movies. We always went every week. I think it was a Wednesday morning, we'd go to the movies, and they were always fun kid movies. And reading them books, telling them stories, making things up. I loved all the arts and crafts that we did, and just being with them and watching them. I loved when their friends came over, and I always made sure we had a home available for that. We would go to the nursing homes and take cards, homemade cards when they were younger, and sing during the Christmas season. And one time, one of my favorite memories on one of our homeschool days was we had to go just do something with our kids and just do some teaching lesson. So we went out on a hike on the mountain, and we just thanked God for what we saw, for what we had, for our abilities to even hike and feel the air, and to smell the smells of the desert. And then we had some paper and pencils, and we drew, and it was just such a fun, special time. And those are memories I have tucked in my heart that, thankfully, when I feel down, I have friends and family reminding me, but look at the good things, look at all the positives. And that's what God is to us as well when we think we've made all these mistakes in our lives, not even related to parenting, but other decisions we have made, choices we made that we're not happy with, that we regret. But God forgives us, and He wants us to come to Him and say, I'm sorry for this. Forgive me. Even if I was maybe a little snippy with my husband one time, or I didn't trust him in a financial decision, that's where I need to come to God and ask Him to forgive me, because I know what I'm supposed to do. I know how I'm supposed to be supportive and a loving, caring wife. So I wanted to go over what this MOM acronym is, because I mentioned that, and you've been listening and you're along with me on this episode. So I was actually getting a massage and thinking about, oh, I always wanted this MOM acronym. And the first word that came to mind was mothers, but that's we got to pick a different word. Memories. Memories was the first word. So memories. And I kept thinking of words. What can you think of? Memories over mountains, because I hike the mountains. I don't know why I thought that. Memories over the moon. Okay, that didn't make any sense. Memories on a mistletoe. Remember, I'm getting a massage thinking about this. Memories on, what was the other one I had? Magic. Memories over magic. Okay, no, this is not working. Memories or mittens. I could come up with a good reason for that, but that's not working either. And I even thought memories over Michelin tires. Okay, yes, that came up to my head. Memories over moments. We're getting somewhere. Then I got it. Memories over mistakes. Oh, that made my heart so happy, because that's what mom is. Whether you are a mom, we all have a mom, and it's the memories over the mistakes, whether the mistakes are from us making them or the mistakes that maybe our moms made on us. It's focusing on those memories. And I was talking the other day with my daughter-in-law about some things, and how she has a 2-year-old, and teaching her, when mom or dad, might lose patience or, scold or whatever. My daughter-in-law learned that if you apologize right away, this is so interesting. Right away, it actually rewires the brain. And so I looked into this more, but it's the immediate apology. Now I remember having my kids go to their room, have them write a little apology note. And of course I would apologize and say, please, will you forgive me? And, and I always taught them, when you apologize to somebody for doing something wrong to them, the response is not, oh, it's okay, because it wasn't okay. Taught this to my elementary students also. It's not okay, but I accept your apology. I forgive you. Please don't do that again. That kind of thing. Okay, so I looked it up, and here's what I found. When a parent suddenly gets angry, raises their voice, or speaks harshly, which this happens, this is motherhood. And we have mothers who did this to us, because we're not perfect. But a child's brain can momentarily move into stress mode, especially the emotional and survival parts of the brain. They might feel fear or shame or disappointment. But when the parent comes back quickly and says something like, I'm sorry I spoke that way. I was frustrated, but I shouldn't have yelled. I'm sorry. Will you forgive me? You're not the problem. The problem is what we're dealing with. Let's talk about the situation. And I love you. Always saying, I love you. It helps to repair the nervous system response. And here's what that repair can do neurologically and emotionally. It teaches the child that conflict does not equal abandonment. It helps the brain rewire towards security instead of fear. It lowers the stress hormone quicker, and it strengthens that attachment and trust to that person that you love, that loves you, cares for you. It models accountability, humility, and of course, forgiveness. And it helps the child learn people can make mistakes and they're still great people. They're still good and they still love me. And so I read that you could think of it as when a relationship has a conflict, there's a rupture, and it's like a wound. And so we just repair it and can fix it and it heals. And I love that. And that's what I think so much about scripture and the Bible. Here's some passages that help me to be comforted whenever I have thoughts of regrets. Isaiah 43, it says, forget the former things. Do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing. Isaiah 43:18. Romans 8:28. And we know that in all things, God works for the good of those who love him. 1 Peter 5:7, which happens to be on my license plate. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. Psalm 147:3. He heals the brokenhearted and he binds up the wounds. I love that. That's what God does. He heals those moments that we felt broken. And so this is so huge, everyone. I'm friend that's watching right now, whether you are a new mom, a young mom, a veteran mom, a grandma. I love being a grandma. And maybe you haven't had children and that hasn't been your season yet. Maybe you're the mom who is grieving over the loss of your child. You matter. You matter. And memories over mistakes matter. And that's what's most important. The grudges, the bitterness, none of that is part of the good memories and the happy memories that heal the rupture, that repair the rupture. When we can work through those hurts and those mistakes, there's so much freedom in that. So don't sell yourself short. If you are sitting in that moment like I have, and I do at times, because we're human, remember that list of the things that you've done well with, that you could list off on a stage if you were brought up to share about the good moments in your life as a mother, or having your mom take care of you and train you up and raise you. What are the things we can say that we would be so proud of? And if you need to make a list, like I did, write some things down, because it's easy to just look back at something, and then reading it and saying it out loud helps us to have that emotion and that feeling of satisfaction, of feeling proud and accomplished. So remember, memories over mistakes. It's what truly is in the heart of a mom. And so I wish you a very beautiful, blessed day, morning, night, whenever you're watching this. And remember to come back and watch Hope Follows on the second and fourth Mondays, yes, second and fourth Mondays of every month. We're here to bring stories of hope to you. And if you have an amazing story that you would love to share and you want me to interview you, please go ahead and you can go to hopefollows.com. I have my email address there. I'd love to hear from you, or if you know someone, because we want to get those stories out. It's healing for you to share your story, and it's so inspiring for us to hear it. Thank you for joining me today at Hope Follows. And before we close, I'm going to read a big idea, because I love to share ways that we can spread a little of hope and positivity. Spark up a friendly conversation with a stranger. Okay. Spark up a friendly conversation with a stranger. We put that in the comments below. What are some conversation starters with strangers? But also, friend, I would love to hear what you're proud of with your parenting. I do think the thing I'm most proud of is that I taught my kids to love one another and to love God, and always grow their faith and rely on him for everything. But I also taught them to lift one another up, to cheer one another on, because everybody needs a cheerleader. And so I'm here as your cheerleader, Julie from Hope Follows, and wanting to share all this with you, and so excited for this time we've had together. I wish you all the very best. Until next time, friends. Bye-bye.